The world we live in today pushes us to share everything: our joys, our sorrows, our failures, and our dreams. But have you ever wondered, why do we feel the need to reveal so much? Silence is often misunderstood. People associate it with weakness, shyness, or a lack of confidence. But in reality, silence is one of the most powerful tools a person can possess. It is in silence that some of the greatest transformations take place. In a world where everyone is in a constant rush to be heard, those who choose to stay silent and observe gain the most wisdom. Not everything in life is meant to be shared, and not every story deserves an audience. Some stories are meant to be kept within, nurtured in the quiet corners of our hearts, away from the noise of the world. When we choose to remain silent, we create space for reflection. Speaking too soon or too much often leads to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and unnecessary complications. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. They can be twisted, misused, and carried forward by people who do not always have the best intentions. There is a reason why wise individuals speak less and listen more. They understand that silence gives them the opportunity to analyze situations, to understand people better, and to make decisions without external influences. Not everything needs to be shared because not everyone truly listens to understand. Many people listen to judge, to gossip, or to use what they hear for their own benefit. When we share too much, we expose our vulnerabilities to those who may not respect them. People may pretend to care, but deep down they may use our words as ammunition against us when the time is right. The fewer people know about our struggles, our dreams, and our emotions, the less control they have over our lives. Silence protects us from unnecessary opinions, judgments, and the negativity that comes from revealing too much to the wrong people. Life is full of unpredictable events, and not every moment is meant for public consumption. In the age of social media, people feel pressured to share every aspect of their lives, their successes, their failures, their relationships, and even their personal struggles. But the truth is, the more we share, the more we invite unnecessary energy into our lives. When we expose our happiness, envy follows. When we reveal our weaknesses, some may use them to bring us down. There is wisdom in keeping certain aspects of life private, allowing them to unfold naturally without external interference. Silence also plays a crucial role in healing. When we go through difficult times, we often feel the urge to talk about our pain with others. While it is important to seek support when needed, constantly speaking about our wounds can sometimes make them deeper. There is healing in solitude and taking time to process emotions internally rather than seeking validation from the world. When we keep our pain within, we allow ourselves the space to grow stronger from it, instead of relying on external opinions that may not always be genuine. The power of silence is evident in nature. The most beautiful things grow in silence. A seed is planted deep into the ground, hidden away from the world. It does not announce its struggles, nor does it seek attention. It quietly grows, breaking through the soil when the time is right. Similarly, our goals and dreams should be nurtured in silence. When we work in silence, we eliminate distractions. We focus on our progress rather than worrying about what others think. When the time is right, our success will speak for itself. Silence also brings clarity. In moments of chaos, when the world feels overwhelming, silence becomes our greatest refuge. It allows us to distance ourselves from the noise and reconnect with our inner thoughts. It gives us the strength to navigate challenges with a calm mind rather than reacting impulsively. Those who practice silence are often more in control of their emotions, making them stronger in difficult situations. Instead of wasting energy on unnecessary words, they direct their focus towards finding solutions. People who master the power of silence are often the most respected. They do not reveal everything about themselves, which makes them unpredictable. Their silence commands attention, making people eager to hear when they finally choose to speak. Unlike those who talk endlessly without purpose, their words carry weight because they are spoken with intention. They understand that true strength does not come from proving themselves to others, but from knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Not every battle needs to be fought with words. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response. When faced with negativity, responding with silence denies the other person the reaction they seek. It prevents unnecessary conflict and allows the situation to fade away on its own. Many arguments and misunderstandings escalate simply because people feel the need to defend themselves with words. But in reality, silence often says more than words ever could. It is a statement of self-control, confidence, and wisdom. Silence also protects our energy. Constantly engaging in conversations, debates, and discussions can be mentally exhausting. Not every opinion deserves a response, and not every situation requires our input. By choosing silence, we conserve our energy for the things that truly matter. We free ourselves from unnecessary drama, allowing us to focus on our own growth and happiness. In a world that constantly encourages expression, choosing silence is an act of self-preservation. It is a way of protecting our inner peace from the chaos around us. Not everything needs to be shared because not everyone deserves to know the details of our lives. Some stories are meant to be cherished in the depths of our hearts, where they remain untouched by the world's judgment. Silence is not emptiness, it is wisdom. It is the strength to know when to speak and when to let the quiet do the talking. Mystery is a powerful force. In a world where people are constantly revealing every aspect of their lives, those who remain reserved stand out. There is strength in not letting others know too much about you. When people know less, they are left to assume. And assumptions are powerful because they create intrigue, respect, and sometimes even fear. Those who are mysterious naturally command attention, not because they seek it, but because their silence and restraint make people curious. In human nature, there is an undeniable attraction to the unknown. We are drawn to things that we cannot easily understand. The moment someone is fully transparent, the mystery disappears, and with it, the power they hold. When everything about a person is laid out for the world to see, they become predictable. Predictability makes people comfortable, but it does not make them powerful. On the other hand, those who reveal little about themselves maintain an air of unpredictability that keeps others intrigued. The less you say, the more others try to figure you out, and in doing so, they often build an image of you that is greater than reality. When people do not know much about you, they begin to fill in the blanks themselves. They make assumptions, and more often than not, these assumptions work in your favor. Some may assume you are more knowledgeable than you are, others may believe you hold more influence than you actually do, and many will simply be unsure, which alone gives you an advantage. Uncertainty creates power because when people do not fully understand you, they cannot easily manipulate you. They cannot predict your next move, nor can they determine your weaknesses. In contrast, when someone is an open book, they become easy to read, easy to judge, and easy to control. Mystery also acts as a shield. When people do not know your full story, they cannot use it against you. Many individuals suffer because they trust too easily and share too much. They believe that honesty and openness will bring them closer to others, but in reality, it often invites unnecessary problems. Not everyone who listens to you is listening to support you. Some are listening to gather information, to find a way to bring you down, or to use your words against you when the time is right. By keeping certain aspects of your life hidden, you protect yourself from these hidden threats. A person who speaks too much about their plans, ambitions, and personal life exposes themselves to the risk of sabotage. There is an old saying, move in silence and let success make the noise. When you share your dreams with too many people, you invite doubt, jealousy, and negativity into your path. Some may pretend to encourage you while secretly hoping for your downfall. Others may take your ideas and try to implement them before you do. The more you keep to yourself, the more control you maintain over your own destiny. There is also a certain respect that comes with mystery. Think about the individuals who are most admired and feared throughout history. They were not the ones who spoke the most or shared every detail of their lives. Instead, they were the ones who chose their words carefully, who revealed little but acted decisively. Their mystery created an aura of authority. When they did speak, people listened because their words were rare and carried weight. Those who constantly talk, explaining every little detail about themselves, often lose credibility. Their words become noise, easily ignored because they are always available. But when a person speaks only when necessary, their voice carries an impact that cannot be ignored. People also respect those they cannot fully figure out. When someone is an open book, they may be liked, but they are not necessarily respected. There is a fine line between being approachable and being taken for granted. Those who maintain an air of mystery often find that they are treated with more dignity and seriousness. Their opinions are valued more, and their presence carries more significance. They are not easily dismissed because there's always an element of uncertainty surrounding them. Even in personal relationships, a sense of mystery can be beneficial. When everything is revealed too quickly, excitement fades. Whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or professional connections, a bit of mystery keeps people engaged. It keeps them guessing, wondering, and wanting to know more. It creates depth and intrigue, qualities that make a person memorable. Mystery is not about deception. It is about control. It is about deciding what the world gets to see and what remains private. It is about ensuring that your vulnerabilities are protected, your strengths are magnified, and your presence is felt even in your absence. Those who master the art of mystery understand that less is more. The less people know about you, the more they wonder. And in that wondering, they grant you a power that cannot be taken lightly. Not everyone who listens to you is truly on your side. The world is full of people who pretend to care, but their intentions are far from pure. Some listen out of curiosity, some listen to judge, and some listen only to find a way to use your words against you. It is a harsh truth, but an important one to accept. We often believe that if we share our thoughts, struggles, and dreams with others, we will receive support, encouragement, or at the very least, understanding. But reality teaches us otherwise. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Not everyone who lends an ear is doing so with kindness, and not everyone who asks about your life genuinely cares. There are people who listen not to understand, but to criticize. They are quick to offer opinions, not because they want to help, but because they want to find faults. They look for weaknesses, for flaws, for reasons to prove that you are not as strong as you appear. These individuals are not interested in your growth. They are interested in measuring you against their own insecurities. When they see you rise, it reminds them of their own shortcomings. Rather than working on themselves, they choose to focus on pulling others down. Their judgment is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own fears and limitations. Some people listen only to gather information. They pretend to care. They ask questions. They make you feel like you can trust them. But deep down, their intentions are not genuine. They collect details about your life, not to celebrate your success, but to discuss it with others. They wait for a moment when they can use your words against you, twist them, and turn them into gossip. They act as if they are on your side, but in reality, they are merely spectators, watching and waiting for a moment when they can bring your story into conversations that were never meant for your ears. Then there are those who listen simply to compete. They do not see your struggles as something to empathize with. They see them as a measure of their own lives. If you share your hardships, they will try to prove that theirs are greater. If you speak of your achievements, they will try to diminish them by comparing them to their own. These people are not truly interested in your journey. They are only interested in proving that theirs is more significant. They are not well-wishers because they cannot celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened by it. One of the most dangerous kinds of listeners is the one who disguises themselves as a friend. They seem supportive, they appear to care, but their kindness is only surface deep. They are the ones who will clap for you in public but secretly envy you in private. They are the ones who will congratulate you with words while feeling resentment in their hearts. They do not want you to fail outright, but they do not want you to succeed beyond them either. These individuals are difficult to recognize because they wear the mask of friendship so well. They stay close enough to know everything about you, but distant enough to never truly celebrate you. The mistake we often make is assuming that just because someone listens, they care. But listening is not always a sign of concern. Sometimes it is a tool used to judge, to compare, to criticize, or to manipulate. The more we share with the wrong people, the more we give them access to our inner world. And the more access they have, the more control they gain over our emotions. Not everyone deserves to know our struggles. Not everyone has earned the right to hear our dreams. The world is not short of kind people, but it is also not short of those who pretend to be kind. Understanding the difference is essential. It is not about becoming distant or distrusting everyone, but about being selective with whom we open our hearts to. There will always be those who listen with genuine care, those who want to see us succeed, those who celebrate our victories as if they were their own. But they are rare and they are precious. The key is to observe, to test, and to learn. A true well-wisher will support you even when you have nothing to offer in return. A true well-wisher will stand by you, not just in moments of failure, but also in moments of success, without feeling resentment. A true well-wisher does not just listen, they understand. They do not just hear, they feel. Protect your words, protect your emotions, and most importantly, protect your trust. The world is full of listeners, but not all listen with good intentions. Choose wisely, because not everyone is your well-wisher. Dreams are delicate. They begin as a small spark within us, a vision that only we can see. They require nurturing, patience, and belief to grow into something real. But the moment we start sharing them too much, we expose them to energies that can either uplift or destroy them. Not everyone is meant to hear about your dreams, and not every ear that listens is filled with good intentions. The more we speak about our ambitions, the more we open the door for unnecessary opinions, doubts, and negativity to creep in. There is a certain magic in keeping dreams to ourselves. When we hold them close, they remain pure, untouched by the skepticism of the world. But when we share them too openly, we allow external influences to shape how we see our own potential. Some will listen and encourage, but many will project their fears onto us. They will tell us why something is impossible, why it is too difficult, why we should aim for something smaller, something safer. These words, even when disguised as concern, can plant seeds of doubt in our minds. A dream that was once clear and strong can become clouded by hesitation simply because someone else did not believe in it. The wrong energies do not always come in obvious form. Sometimes they appear as subtle discouragement, disguised as advice. Someone might say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or "What if it doesn't work out?" These small phrases may seem harmless, but they carry weight. They make us question ourselves. They introduce hesitation, and hesitation is the first step toward giving up. When we allow too many voices into our vision, we lose clarity. The dream we once saw so vividly starts to fade under the influence of external doubts. Jealousy is another silent energy that can harm our dreams. Not everyone wants to see us succeed. Some people listen not to support, but to compare. They measure our ambitions against their own limitations, and when they see us aiming higher, they feel uncomfortable. Instead of encouraging, they dismiss. Instead of celebrating, they downplay. When they realize they do not have the same courage to chase something greater, they try to convince us that we shouldn't either. These people may not always be direct in their discouragement. Sometimes it comes in the form of a joke, a passing comment, or a change in their attitude toward us. Their energy alone can be enough to weaken our belief if we are not careful. Sharing dreams too soon can also invite unnecessary pressure. The moment we announce our plans, we create expectations, not just for ourselves, but for others. Suddenly, people start watching. They start questioning our progress. If we stumble or take longer than expected, their impatience can make us feel like we are failing. The truth is, dreams take time. They require effort, setbacks, and adjustments. But when we let too many people in on our vision, we feel the weight of their judgment. excitement. We start to rush. We start to feel like we need to prove something instead of focusing on the journey itself. In this way, the very act of sharing can shift our motivation from internal fulfillment to external validation, which is a dangerous path. There is also the risk of others stealing ideas. Not everyone who listens to our dreams does so with good intent. Some listen to take. If an idea is shared before it is protected, someone else with more resources, connections, or experience may execute it first. The world is competitive, and while creativity is infinite, opportunities are not. By speaking too soon, we risk giving away something that was meant to be ours before we even had the chance to bring it to life. Beyond external influences, there is also the issue of energy itself. Every thought, every dream carries a certain energy. When we speak about something too much, we sometimes lose the energy that was meant to bring it to life. Talking about dreams gives us a temporary feeling of accomplishment, as if speaking about them is the same as working toward them. But there is a difference between words and action. The more we talk, the less we do. The energy that was meant to be used for building turns into empty conversation. We start feeling satisfied with the idea alone, forgetting that dreams only come true when effort replaces words. Dreams are like seeds. They must be planted in quiet, nurtured in solitude, and protected from harsh conditions until they are strong enough to grow on their own. If we expose them too early, they may never take root. They may wither before they have the chance to blossom. That is why the most successful people often do not announce their plans. They work silently, allowing their results to speak for them. They understand that dreams need time to grow in a protected space, away from doubt, jealousy, and negative energy. Keeping dreams private does not mean never seeking guidance or support. It means choosing carefully whom we trust. It means understanding that not everyone deserves to hear about our vision. Some people will water our dreams and help them grow. Others will drain them before they have a chance to become reality. The key is knowing the difference and protecting what is ours until the time is right. Happiness is one of the most precious things we can experience, yet it is also one of the most fragile. It grows best in privacy, away from the noise of the world, away from unnecessary opinions, and away from the weight of external judgment. In a time when people share every aspect of their lives, keeping happiness private has become rare. Yet, those who understand the power of silence know that what is nurtured in secrecy flourishes without interference. The moment happiness is exposed, it becomes vulnerable. It invites curiosity, opinions, and sometimes even jealousy. Not everyone who sees your happiness will celebrate it. Some will admire it, but others will resent it. Some will be inspired, but others will secretly hope for its downfall. The more people know about the joys in your life, the more you open the door to energies that may not align with your peace. By keeping happiness private, you protect it from unnecessary scrutiny. Privacy allows happiness to grow naturally, without pressure. When we announce our joys to the world, we create expectations that we feel we must meet in order to maintain the image of our happiness. The moment we let too many people into our personal moments, we begin to feel watched. We start living not just for ourselves, but for the validation of others. Suddenly, our happiness is no longer just about how we feel, but about how it appears. This shift can be dangerous because true happiness is internal, not something that needs to be displayed or proven. There is a certain peace in enjoying moments without feeling the need to share them. When something is kept private, it remains ours. It is untouched by external opinions, unshaken by unnecessary commentary. In contrast, the moment we invite the world into our joy, we give away a piece of it. People start analyzing it, questioning it, comparing it to their own experiences. Some will genuinely celebrate with us, but others will see our happiness through the lens of their own dissatisfaction. Their reactions, whether direct or subtle, can take away from what was once pure and untainted. Negativity often finds its way into happiness when it is shared too openly. The world is full of individuals who struggle with their own emotions. When they see someone else experiencing joy, the reaction is not always positive. Some will feel bitterness, others will feel envy, and many will unconsciously project their own unhappiness onto what you have. They may question whether you truly deserve what you have, or they may try to minimize it by comparing it to their own life. Even a simple remark said carelessly can plant a seed of doubt in your mind. This is how negativity creeps in, slowly, subtly, until it starts affecting the way you see your own happiness. Privacy also gives us the ability to protect the things that matter most. Relationships, success, and personal achievements all thrive when they are nurtured in silence. When a relationship is kept private, it is free from external judgment and interference. The moment too many people become aware of it, opinions begin to form. Some will support it, but others will look for flaws. Some will respect it, but others will find ways to bring negativity into it. A relationship is strongest when it is built between two people, not between two people and the world. Keeping it private does not mean hiding it. It means protecting it from unnecessary influences that could damage its foundation. The same applies to personal success. Achievements feel more meaningful when they are celebrated in solitude or with a small, trusted circle. The moment they are announced too widely, they become a subject of discussion. People start forming expectations, and with expectations comes pressure. Instead of enjoying the success for what it is, we start worrying about how others perceive it. Will they think it is impressive enough? Will they compare it to their own achievements? Will they try to downplay it? These are questions that should never interfere with our joy, yet they often do when we allow too many people into our personal victories. Another reason happiness flourishes in privacy is because it keeps us focused on what truly matters. When we are not concerned with sharing every joyful moment, we become more present in them. We experience life more deeply when we are not distracted by the need to capture and broadcast it. Some of the most beautiful moments in life are those that are simply lived without an audience, without validation. The quiet moments, the small victories, the personal joys, they hold a deeper meaning when they are kept within, untouched by the outside world. Silence is a form of protection. It allows happiness to take root and grow without interference. It keeps negativity at bay and preserves the purity of the things we hold dear. While sharing happiness can sometimes bring joy, it can also invite complications. The key is knowing what to share and what to keep sacred. Not everything needs to be announced. Not every joy needs to be displayed. Some of the most profound happiness in life is the kind that is felt, not spoken about. When happiness is nurtured in silence, it becomes more powerful. It remains free from external expectations, safe from negative energy, and untouched by the comparisons of others. It grows in its own time, in its own way, without the need for validation. And when it is finally strong enough, when it has flourished fully, it will not need to be announced. It will simply be felt. Vulnerability is a double-edged sword. While it is often seen as a sign of strength and authenticity, it can also become a weapon in the wrong hands. In an ideal world, expressing our fears, struggles, and insecurities would lead to understanding, support, and connection. But reality teaches us otherwise. Once someone knows our weaknesses, they have the power to use them against us. What we share in moments of trust can later become ammunition wielded against us when we least expect it. This is why guarding our vulnerabilities is just as important as embracing them. Not everyone who listens to our struggles does so with good intentions. Some people may appear sympathetic, nodding in understanding, offering words of comfort, and making us feel safe in our openness. But the truth is, not all listeners are allies. Some people store information, waiting for the right moment to use it to their advantage. They do not see vulnerability as a human connection. They see it as an opportunity. The more they know about what hurts us, the more control they have. Whether it is in friendships, relationships, workplaces, or social circles, there are always individuals who seek to manipulate others by preying on their insecurities. One of the most common ways vulnerability is misused is through emotional manipulation. Once someone is aware of your fears, they can exploit them to make you feel guilty, insecure, or dependent. They might remind you of your past failures whenever you try to move forward. They might use your deepest fears to keep you in situations that no longer serve you. They might even convince you that without them, you would struggle to cope. This type of manipulation is subtle but powerful, as it creates self-doubt and makes it harder to break free from toxic connection. Another way weaknesses are used against us is through betrayal. When we trust someone with our personal struggles, we assume they will keep that information private. But not everyone values trust the way we do. Some people, in moments of anger, jealousy, or selfishness, will expose our vulnerabilities to others. They may share our secrets as gossip, twisting the truth to fit their own narrative. They may use our struggles to make themselves look better, to gain sympathy from others, or to damage our reputation. This kind of betrayal is painful because it comes from those we once believed in, those we thought would protect us, not harm us. Vulnerability can also be used as a tool for control. In toxic relationships, whether personal or professional, people who know our weaknesses can use them to manipulate our decisions. If they know we fear abandonment, they may threaten to leave whenever we stand up for ourselves. If they know we struggle with confidence, they may subtly undermine us, making us feel like we are not capable of success. If they know we seek approval, they may withhold praise or validation as a means of keeping us dependent on them. The more someone knows about our emotional soft spots, the easier it becomes for them to pull the strings and dictate our choices. In professional environments, revealing vulnerabilities can have serious consequences. While many workplaces promote openness and honesty, not all colleagues or superiors have our best interests at heart. Admitting a personal struggle or weakness in the wrong setting can lead to being overlooked for opportunities, unfair treatment, or even being seen as incapable. In competitive environments, those who see us as rivals may use our admissions against us, questioning our competence or reliability. What we say in confidence can quickly turn into a reason for exclusion, whether intentional or not. Social media has made it even easier for vulnerabilities to be misused. In the digital age, people share their struggles, emotions, and fears online, believing that expressing themselves will bring support. While some responses may be positive, there is always a risk of judgment, criticism, or exploitation. The internet does not forget, and what is posted in a moment of vulnerability can resurface at any time, sometimes in ways that cause harm. A personal confession can be taken out of context, turned into a joke, or even used to attack one's character. The more we expose, the more we risk losing control over our own narrative. It is important to recognize that not everyone deserves access to our deepest fears and struggles. Vulnerability should be shared with those who have earned our trust, not given freely to anyone who asks. There is strength in knowing when to open up and when to stay guarded. Choosing carefully whom we confide in is not about being cold or distant. It is about protecting our emotional well-being. Just as we would not hand over the keys to our home to a stranger, we should not hand over the keys to our inner world to just anyone. Boundaries are essential in safeguarding our vulnerabilities. Being selective with whom we trust does not mean we have to suppress our emotions or never seek support. It means we must differentiate between those who genuinely care and those who simply want information. Real support comes from those who respect our struggles, who offer guidance without judgment, and who never use our pain as leverage. True allies do not make us feel weak for being vulnerable. They make us feel safe in our openness. There is power in being mindful of what we share. Some battles are meant to be fought privately. Some wounds heal better in silence. Some fears lose their grip when they are not constantly spoken about. Protecting our vulnerabilities does not mean pretending to be strong all the time. It means recognizing that our emotions are valuable and should not be placed in the hands of those who might use them against us. At the core of it all, self-awareness is key. When we understand our own emotions, we become less reliant on external validation. When we strengthen our inner confidence, we reduce the chances of being manipulated. And when we learn to trust wisely, we build relationships that uplift rather than exploit. Vulnerability is not a weakness, but allowing it to be misused is. The more we guard our emotional space, the more control we have over our own story, and the less power we give to those who seek to use our struggles for their own advantage. Actions hold a power that words often fail to carry. While words can inspire, influence, and comfort, they can be forgotten, misinterpreted, or even manipulated. But actions, on the other hand, leave a lasting imprint. They define character, shape perceptions, and build reputations. A person who speaks less but acts with purpose and integrity commands more respect than someone who talks endlessly but delivers little. It is through actions that true impact is made, and it is through consistency in those actions that a legacy is built. In a world where people are quick to speak, promise, and express opinions, the rare individual who focuses more on doing than talking stands out. It is easy to say what one will do, but following through requires discipline, commitment, and resilience. A person who acts with intention does not need to convince others of their abilities. Their work speaks for itself. Whether in personal relationships, workplaces, or society at large, those who take action are the ones who drive change, earn trust, and leave a meaningful mark. People remember actions more than they remember words. A promise made but never fulfilled is quickly forgotten, but a kind gesture, a sacrifice, or a demonstration of strength remains in the minds of those who witness it. A leader who leads by example is more respected than one who merely gives speeches. A friend who shows up in times of need is more valued than one who only offers comforting words. A person who quietly works toward their goals without constantly announcing their plans is admired far more than someone who talks endlessly about their dreams but never takes steps toward achieving them. Silence, when paired with meaningful action, creates an air of mystery and strength. It makes people curious. It makes them observe rather than merely listen. In contrast, those who talk too much often find their words losing meaning. The more someone speaks without action, the less seriously they are taken. When a person rarely speaks but takes bold, effective steps, their presence carries more weight. Others are drawn to them, not because of what they say, but because of what they consistently do. Letting action speak also minimizes unnecessary conflicts. When someone criticizes, doubts, or underestimates, responding with words often leads to pointless arguments. But proving them wrong through action silences them more effectively than any speech ever could. Success achieved through quiet effort is far more powerful than any attempt to justify oneself with words. Those who act do not need to explain themselves. Their results do the talking. Trust is built on action. Promises, no matter how sincere, mean nothing if they are not fulfilled. Love is not measured by how often one says it, but by how one shows it. Loyalty is not claimed, but demonstrated over time. The people we trust the most in life are not those who make the most declarations, but those who have proven through action that they are reliable. A strong character is not developed through words alone, but through the choices and decisions made consistently over time. Opportunities to favor those who act. The world is filled with dreamers, planners, and talkers, but only those who take action see real results. Every great success story is built on effort, risk, and persistence. Those who wait for the perfect moment, who hesitate because of doubt, or who spend more time talking about what they will do instead of actually doing it, often find themselves stuck in the same place Meanwhile, those who take small but consistent steps without feeling the need to announce every move gradually build something meaningful. Actions inspire. When people see someone working tirelessly toward a goal, they feel motivated to do the same. A teacher who leads by example teaches more effectively than one who only lectures. A parent who demonstrates strength and resilience teaches their children far more than words ever could. A person who embodies kindness, generosity, and integrity encourages others to adopt the same qualities. The influence of action spreads silently but powerfully, shaping the thoughts and behaviors of those who witness them. Those who let their actions speak also carry a quiet confidence. They do not feel the need to seek constant validation or approval. They do not waste energy trying to convince others of their worth. They simply do what needs to be done, knowing that results will speak louder than any words ever could. This kind of confidence is unshakable because it is rooted in experience, effort, and self-discipline. Unlike words, which can be challenged or doubted, actions create undeniable proof of one's capabilities. There is also a deep sense of fulfillment that comes with being a person of action. When one focuses on doing rather than talking, there is less room for regrets. There is a sense of progress, of growth, of movement towards something meaningful. Words alone may provide temporary satisfaction, but they do not create real change. It is action that brings dreams to life, that builds relationships, that solves problems, and that ultimately leads to a life well lived. A person who lets their actions speak does not need to compete for attention. They do not need to prove themselves through exaggerated words or empty promises. Their work, their character, and their consistency make the loudest statement of all. And in the end, it is those who act, not those who merely speak, who leave behind a lasting impact. Living for yourself is one of the greatest freedoms you can ever experience, yet so many people unknowingly surrender this freedom in their pursuit of validation. The need for approval is deeply ingrained in human nature. We all want to be seen, heard, and appreciated. However, when this need turns into a dependency, it weakens our sense of self. It makes us seek external confirmation for our worth rather than trusting our own inner voice. The more we rely on others to validate us, the more we drift away from our true selves. One of the most common ways people seek validation is through oversharing. In today's world where social media has made every detail of life public, people often feel compelled to share everything, from their successes to their struggles, their relationships to their dreams. While sharing can sometimes bring connection and encouragement, it also opens the door to judgment, comparison, and unnecessary influence from others. When we constantly expose our lives for the sake of approval, we give others the power to shape how we see ourselves. Oversharing is often mistaken for authenticity, but true authenticity does not require an audience. Being genuine means living in alignment with your values and making choices that fulfill you, regardless of who is watching. The moment you start measuring your happiness based on how others react to your life, you begin to lose control over it. You start filtering your experiences through the eyes of others, wondering how they will perceive you, what they will think, and whether they will approve. This habit weakens your ability to trust your own instincts and decisions. The more you seek validation, the more you become dependent on it. It creates a cycle where your confidence fluctuates based on how much praise or approval you receive. If people applaud you, you feel good about yourself. If they remain silent or criticize you, you start doubting yourself. This dependency on external affirmation makes you emotionally vulnerable, as it places your self-worth in the hands of others. The reality is, not everyone will always approve of you, and their opinions are often shaped by their own insecurities, biases, and limited understanding of your journey. Another danger of seeking validation is that it makes you live according to expectations that are not truly your own. The more you share, the more people form opinions about you, and the more you feel pressure to maintain a certain image. You start making choices not because they feel right for you, but because they align with the expectations of others. This leads to a life that is built on pleasing people rather than fulfilling your own purpose. You become trapped in a performance, constantly trying to prove yourself instead of simply Being yourself. Living for yourself means breaking free from the need to impress, explain, or justify your choices. It means making decisions that serve your happiness, even if they do not make sense to others. It requires understanding that your journey is unique, and it does not need to be validated by anyone else. The people who genuinely care for you will support you without needing constant explanations. The ones who demand justification for every step you take are often the ones who do not truly understand or respect your individuality. Privacy is a powerful tool for self-preservation. When you keep certain aspects of your life to yourself, you protect them from unnecessary scrutiny. Not every achievement needs to be announced. Not every challenge needs to be shared. And not every opinion needs to be heard. Some of the most fulfilling moments in life are the ones experienced in solitude or with a small, trusted circle. They hold deeper meaning because they are not performed for an audience, but lived for their own sake. Confidence comes from knowing who you are, rather than depending on others to tell you. The most self-assured people are those who do not need constant reassurance. They trust themselves, their abilities, and their decisions. They do not live for likes, comments, or approval. They live for their own growth and happiness. Their sense of worth comes from within, making them unshaken by external opinions. They understand that validation is fleeting, but self-respect lasts a lifetime. When you stop living for validation, you start living for fulfillment. You pursue dreams because they matter to you, not because they impress others. You make choices that bring you peace rather than ones that gain approval. You surround yourself with people who respect you for who you are, not for the image you project. Most importantly, you build a life that feels good on the inside rather than one that only looks good from the outside. The need for validation is a trap that keeps you from fully embracing your true self. The more you seek it, the more you distance yourself from what genuinely fulfills you. Instead of chasing approval, focus on self-acceptance. Instead of oversharing, cherish privacy. Instead of proving your worth, live in a way that makes you proud of yourself. True confidence is quiet. Self-respect is priceless, and the most powerful way to live is for yourself, not for validation. So today I ask you, do you want to live for validation or for yourself? Do you want to share every little thing, or do you want to nurture your dreams in silence? Protect your peace, guard your dreams, stay silent, and watch how life rewards you.